Well, hello everyone and welcome to something very different. My name is Aaron Patrick. I'm a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new badge. I own a practice called Bookkeeping and I'm also that QuickBooks chap on the internet. Now we're doing something very different, completely out of our comfort zone in one way or another, but this is designed to be something that will be useful to some of you out there. Now, if you are one of those people who learns by quickly repeating and repetition of something on a regular basis, then this training is designed for you in mind. Now we've built a little scenario here. Imagine that you've got to get yourself from one place to another. You're on public transport, whatever it's going to be, and you've only got 10 minutes to get your books in order, ready for a particular meeting. Well, we've got you covered, because in this we're going to be going through 10 minutes of the basics of QuickBooks, how to get everything in order and how it's all going to be. We're even going to be adding a little bit of music. A little bit of music to get us hyped up, ready to get that information in.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
You're going to be following along. So what I want you to do, first of all, is I want you to go to any one of my YouTube channels, and from there I want you to go and I want you to press a link here, and from that link I want you to go to free demo from QuickBooks Online. From there you're going to prove you're not a robot. I'm going to choose fire hydrants. You guys follow along as well. And what this is going to do is take us to our sample company. We love the sample company here on this channel because this is where we get to play and to test and to learn. So our first thing by far when it comes to QuickBooks is how do we get paid? What options do we have? Well, from our new button at the top here, we're going to go press new. We're going to add customers. We're going to go down to invoice and we're going to click on invoice. This page in front of us now is something we're going to get used to. This is our transaction page. It's coming up with information about how we can get paid. What options have we got? We can explore these at any point. But this is about making sure that you're connected into what's going on. Now, before I can get paid, before I can send an invoice out, I need to say who to. I can pick any of the customers that's already in the list, or I could create a new one. Creating a new one's really easy. I put Aaron Patrick. And when I press Aaron Patrick, it says, would you like to create him? And I even have the option to put additional details here. So now I'm just going to press save. Put whatever customer you want in. We're going to skip the email for now because we're in a demo company, but that's the secret sauce. That's how you can get the information sent from QuickBooks to your customer nice and easily, and it goes with those payment options that are just here. Now when I want to send an invoice, one of the most important things is going to be the date. Today's date is appearing for me, and I can choose, change, make that whatever I want to do. Then it's key about product and service. Product and service is so important. It's effectively what it is that you're selling. And we can drop down this little arrow here and we can pick one of the default items that are going to be there. So we're going to pick down here one of the options that are going to work for us. For me, I'm interested in some employee training. Comes up already one at 1,500 and it's already dealing with the VAT for me. Now, this is important to understand what's going on. First of all, the quantity is important. We change the quantity, it updates everything going forward. The rate is being brought through, determined by what product and service we have, and then the rate times the quantity is what your amount's going to be. Then you have the option of what VAT code to go with. If you're not VAT registered, don't worry, VAT won't appear whatsoever. If you are VAT registered, you need to choose which VAT is applicable to you. So, what else can we do at this point? Well, it's going to work out the VAT for me. That's a huge part and benefit of using QuickBooks. VAT sorted, don't need to worry about it. We're also going to see down here I have a chance to put message on my invoice, message on my statement, and I can even think about putting an attachment there as well. My most important number to me at the moment though is this 3,600 up here. I'm happy with that. That's ready to go. Let's get our first transaction into QuickBooks. I'm going to go down here. I can do save and send. We're in a demo company. Probably not best to send it, but we can send and save and close. And that's going to take me exactly where I was before. Okay, so we've got our first transaction onto QuickBooks, which is an invoice. An invoice is something that we've sent out and we want to get paid for a later date. That's great. That's what we need to know. But what about if we've already received the money? If we have, we're going to use a different transaction called sales receipt. Before we do that though, let's explore our sales section and go to what's called products and services. Product and services, hopefully you can recognize this is the information we've been pulling from when we went to buy that employee training. If we need to create a new one, that's also really easy. Press new up here, press service. The name is really important, so for this we're going to go bronze party, and we're going to say that a bronze party costs £50. Tax, we're going to put it 20%, press save and close. Now always remember this income account here, that's where it's going to post on your P&L account, so always make sure you're happy with that. Services sounds great to me, save and close. That's created me a brand new one. If I start putting party in, I now have a bronze party, gold, platinum and silver, so I've got everything connected. So what do we need to do now? Well, we need to go to new and we need to go and create a sales receipt. Remember, a sales receipt is something we've already received. So it's going to look very similar before. So this time I'm going to pick a different customer. So this time I'm going to go for Benjamin Young. And I want to make sure my date's correct. Now the date on this one was actually in the past. 14th of the 11th, 20. So I'm going to put that one there. I must make sure I understand where it's paid to. Deposit to, I'm going to put it to my current account. And you'll see why in a moment. Product and service, I am going to say that I've actually had some entertainment, and my entertainment is £8,760. But this is the important thing. I've received £8,760 at the moment because I've got exclusive of tax on. It's adding the VAT on for me, giving me a total of £10,512. That's all right, but actually I want inclusive. While I'm doing inclusive, I want to overwrite it back to the 8,760, and I want to press save and close. So I've created a sales receipt now, and that's me looking at my income. I've got invoices that have been created, and they're going to be shown down here for me. I can click on this and look at it in more detail, and I've also shown how a sales receipt is money we've already received. Right, next step, let's look at expenses. So I'm going to press new, I'm going to go to suppliers. The first thing I'm going to do is the bill. A bill is very much like an invoice. It's a supplier where we've already received money. So I'm going to create a brand new one. I'm going to do BT. And from BT, I'm going to press save. I'm going to take the date from an invoice I actually have. Today's though, I'm just going to go for the 1st of the 1st, 21. Bill number will be whatever they give me. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And my category, well, I'm now going to pick what it is I paid for. Well, in my case, I have paid for some telephone costs. So I type the word telephone and it appears there. If I need to create a new one, again, I'm going to have the option, if I want to say mobile, I'll have the option to add it there. For this one though, I just want telephone. And when I add, this is the screen I get. For this one though, I just want telephone. From there, I'm going to say I had £100 and then I have to choose what VAT I incurred. Again, this time around 20%. Remember, I'm on exclusive, so it's adding the VAT on. Save and close. That's a bill. A bill is something you're going to pay for at a later date, and maybe you're going to pay for more than one of them at a time. That's when bills become really useful. You've paid, say, £600 later down the line, and it relates to 6 different transactions or whatever it's going to be. What about though if I've already paid for it? So that's when an expense comes into play. So I'm new, suppliers and expense. Very much look at how it looks very similar to the bill and the invoice and everything else. Aesthetically, from a transaction, you're always going to see that this is really, really useful to use. From here then, I need to make sure that I have some travel costs all included. I've incurred some parking fees for £41. So I need to find what my parking is. In this case, I'm just going to do parking. I'm going to save that. And I need to make sure that this is crucial. It's not my Visa credit card, it's my current account I need to go from. From there, I need to go by a date that is relevant. So my date is the 2nd of the 11th, 20. And my reference is whatever's on there if I want to. Category wise though, I'm going to put travel. And we're going to say that there was VAT on it. But again, I need to do inclusive of tax because it was £41 I paid over. I can use description to put some extra information if I want to, but notice how it's now working backwards the VAT for me. I have the chance to put an attachment on there, and an attachment can be useful to put a copy of what you just incurred. From there, I'm going to press save and close. So straight away, we put 2 types of income on, 2 types of expenses on. A sales receipt is something you've already received the money for and you're recording it. A bill is something you're going to pay for at a later date, whereas an expense is something you've already paid for, and again, you need to record it. Now, our final topic we're going to cover today in this quick and easy, fast-paced, hustle way of getting our job done is we're going to jump into banking. Banking is so important within QuickBooks. First of all, make sure that you're either in Visa, credit card or current. You want to be in current. How do I know I'm in current? Because got a nice blue bar just up here. Now this is going to tell me a lot of information. How much money is in my bank balance and how much is in QuickBooks. These two figures we want to be correct. Also tells me how many transactions that QuickBooks knows about but hasn't yet dealt with. Remember, you get to link an account. When you link an account, you're connecting your bank account to QuickBooks Online, meaning you have the ability for that data to go from your bank account directly into QuickBooks. Really useful, and that's what we've got in front of us. We have 12 items in front of us that we need to deal with. Important we know that. 12 items we need to deal with. If we don't deal with these 12 items, they won't appear on our VAT return, it won't appear on any of the reports. We need to get rid of these. We need a big green tick to say that we've done all our transactions. So we have all of these transactions down here. They're looking good. Some of those have already been found for us. Here's 8,760 ATM deposit for Benjamin Young. That sounds like that transaction we just did just now. So we have this transaction. QuickBooks notices that in the bank account that we've got transactions that have come in. That's what we're going to use for going forward. So those transactions have come in. I'm happy that that transaction is here and I get the option to match, not add, not anything else. It says match. What it's doing is it's going, your transaction you said was going to happen in QuickBooks has now got in QuickBooks. We now need to match the two together. So how do I do that? I press match. It disappears off the list. Then what I would probably want to do there is go through anything else that I can recognise. Here's another one, £41, one record found. Let's match that one. Two more here. One record found, Jordan Burgess, 4,800. One record found, 1,800, match. Basically, I'm getting rid of all the transactions that I'd already told QuickBooks about. Now, we've just dealt with transactions that actually have already been in QuickBooks and we matched them. What about if it's a transaction that we need to add? What about if we've never put it in QuickBooks before? Well, the rest of these transactions look like that. For me to give the information QuickBooks needs to add that transaction, or when we add, we're just doing what we've just done, creating an expense or a sales receipt. Then all we do is we click into the transaction, notice how it expands. From there, we're going to be able to go in and we're going to say that the category for this restaurant is meals and entertainment. For this one, we're just going to put 20% VAT on. Remember, you need to make sure there is VAT on this before you do it. It's also going to say, do you want meals and entertainment to always be 20%? Say yes to that. Now, it doesn't ask for a supplier or customer, but I would highly recommend you do put a supplier and customer in here if you can. And then at that point, you've given the information that it needs. You've said it's meal and entertainment, so it's 20%. Press add. That transaction is now added. Your number in QuickBooks has changed. Your number of transactions have also changed. And if I jump into the categorize section, and I look at my latest transaction, notice how I can click into that new restaurant transaction, and it looks exactly the same as those expenses that we've already created. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're creating the same transaction, but shortcutting the process. Now, if I go back to that next one, notice what's happened here. It's now gone green. The other restaurant has gone green. Meals and entertainment, 20%, £50.25. I now press add on that one, and look what happens. QuickBooks is learning. QuickBooks is starting to understand. So I press add, and it pops up. Is this restaurant always meals and entertainment? At that point, I'm going to say yes, it is, and create a rule. What's a rule, I hear you ask? Well, basically a rule is just like we've got here, IT Support Center rule. It's telling me that it's found something and it knows what to do with it. And it's telling me what it's going to do with it. So in this case, it's going to go and rule, and it's going to add to business alliances 20%, and I can press add. I don't need to go in and add any for additional information. How do I find rules? I go to the top here in the banking, and there are my rules. So there's that restaurant we created together, and there's that category expense as that IT Support Center that was already generated for me. Okay, so this is good. We're making some real good progress, and I could go into these next ones. They're all the transactions I need to add, and I can go into individually and click them. Or I can use my batch actions. So from my batch actions, I can click on Air Express, Hotel. I can then go update, and both of these are going to be travel, and I'm going to say both of them are 20% as well. Apply and accept. From here then, I've got 3 more transactions. Now, maybe this last one, I don't know what it is. That's fine. We're going to deal with that one. But the top one, email service. We know that this one should be computer and internet expense, and I want it to be 20%. But let's go one step further than that. Maybe every time we see email service, we want it to be treated that way. Use the create rule button just down here as your option. Press create rule. From there, give it a name, email service. It's going to know that you want it to go to computer, internet, 20%, and it's when it contains the word email service, it's going to be activated. press save, you've created your first rule. Next time you see supplier email service, you're going to be able to do that. Let's do the same with Supply Depot. We want Supply Depot to go to postage and delivery. We want the VAT on there to be 20%. So we're going to use create rule. We're going to call it Supply Depot. We're going to make sure expense, posting day and 20% there. And we're going to make sure auto adds on. Auto add basically means that when it sees it, it'll automatically add it for you. Press save. We have one transaction to go. Business check. Now we're not 100% sure about this. It's talking about how there's this card purchase from business check card purchase, something like that. So what are we going to do with this one? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to record it as a transfer because by the looks of it, it's going to our Visa credit card. It looks like it's a transaction that goes to there. So if I needed to move it from one bank account to another, we would use transfer, select, and we could then use Visa credit card. Let's record as transfer. What if we then decide actually that was incorrect? We should never have done that. We can go back into the categorized, find the transaction, so the £37.65, and undo it. When we undo a transaction, it goes back into full review for me, so I can now deal with it as I need to. And in this case, what I want to do is I want to deal with it using a thing called tags. So I'm going to go to company cog in the top. I'm going to go accounts and settings. I'm going to go to my expenses. And I'm going to make sure my tags are shown as they should be. Now I know tags are on and it's working as intended. I need to then make sure that the tags are working. So I'm going to go and I'm going to put this expense in. For now, because I'm not 100% sure what it is, it says restaurant, so I'm going to put travel. I'm going to put meals in. Now I'm definitely not going to claim VAT on this because I don't know, so I'm going to put no VAT for now. Press add. But how do I make sure I can find that again? Go back to categories, this time look into that expense and meal. Now, what is tags, I hear you ask? Well, tags is this section just here, and that gives you a chance to find it again. So let's put it for review. Well, that means if I save that transaction, I jump into banking, I jump into tags. Then from there, I can jump back into my for review, and it's a way of me being able to find transactions again. And that's when I can find that meals and entertainment costs that I might want to look at in more detail. Whew! And there we have it. We have now successfully added 4 transactions to QuickBooks using an invoice, sales receipt, a bill and an expense. And then we've added all those transactions in our bank as well. At this point, we are now ready for that meeting. All the data is in QuickBooks and ready to go. Now, this isn't the end of our journey. We still have more advanced features to look at, but this is a great starting point. This is where we have that opportunity to make sure that we have everything, including QuickBooks, and it's all up to date, meaning that if we need to run reports or anything like that, we have everything already in there, ready to make those important decisions. So what did you think to that way of learning? The idea here is this is something you can then come back to on a regular basis. If you give yourself an opportunity to do this once a day, I promise you, you will quickly and easily be able to get through to what's going on in QuickBooks. You'll learn the basics no matter what. And that's what this is all about. It's about empowering you, giving you that opportunity to be able to sit down and be able to understand exactly what's going on in the world of QuickBooks and understand what is it that you are doing. And if you keep repeating the same thing, you're going to get better and better at it and learn as you go along. Now, I need your help on this one. If this is the sort of training that works for you, and if this was beneficial in any way, I need to know down below. So ideally on this channel, we want this to be a recurring series. We've looked at the basics. Let's make it a little bit more complicated. Keep adding on and adding on. Let's make it so that people can come to this series and be able to go and build their knowledge with QuickBooks in a way that works for them. But we can only do that by understanding if this is working. So if this has worked in any way, please like, please subscribe to the channel and comment below exactly why this works for you. That means we can then understand if this is working, if this experiment was worthwhile, and then we can get on with doing the rest of the series. So how do you feel? 10 minutes or so, and now you understand the basics of QuickBooks Online. My name's been Aaron Patrick. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you. If you want any more advice like this, this is the channel to be. Like and subscribe to this channel. We talk about QuickBooks, we talk about other accounting software, and we make sure that you are using QuickBooks as intended. My name's Aaron. As always, As I said, it's been a pleasure. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter. I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter if you want. Oh, the way that I feel, yeah, I know that it's real, 'cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new, even if we stay in bed. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called Apple Core Productions, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks Chat, Boffick's Tax Tip. Finally, we have Apple Core Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.